The day I saw her, the chapel was still, not with peace, but with tension, a silence that crackled with unspoken questions and held breath. All eyes were fixed on Jalen Monroe, the groom standing tall in a dark, finely tailored tuxedo, a pristine white rose pinned to his lapel. His hands trembled, not from nerves, but from hope, because Jalen was blind, had been for 6 years since a violent mugging left him in darkness. And now, standing unassisted before the altar, surrounded by faces he couldn't see, he was about to marry a woman he knew only by voice. Her name was Elise. They had met in rehab, him recovering, her volunteering. She read to him, walked with him, described the world in ways that made him feel he hadn't lost it entirely. He fell in love with her laugh, her mind, her soul, long before he ever imagined seeing her face, and now he was about to call her his wife. The organ hummed softly. The priest's voice broke the silence. Jalen Monroe, do you take Elise to be your lawfully wedded wife? Yalen smiled kropka I do. A gentle applause rippled through the pews. The bride's gloved hand slipped into his. Her warmth reassured him. Even in darkness, he could feel her presence. Then it happened that a sudden chill swept through the room. His head jerked. A flash of pain surged behind his eyes, lightning white, searing, then light color. Shapes. Faces, tears filled his eyes. He blinked rapidly. I can see, he whispered. Gasps erupted from the guests. The priest stepped back. The bride froze. Jalen turned to the woman beside him. I can see you, but as his eyes focused, his expression shattered. He let go of her hand, stumbled back. His knees buckled. No, this isn't Elise. The chapel erupted into chaos. The photographer froze. The crowd murmured. The priest stood still, unsure whether to continue. This isn't Elise, Jalen repeated, eyes wide with disbelief. Who are you? The woman in the wedding dress smiled nervously. Baby, what are you talking about? It's me, Elise. He shook his head. No. Your voice, it's close, but not hers. You're not her. She laughed, unsteady. It's just a shock. You're overwhelmed. But Jalen didn't move. His voice turned ice. Elise's favorite author is Langston Hughes. You told me it was Emily Dickinson. She opened her mouth, but no words came. You're not her, he whispered then, a voice from the back. If you say another word, I swear to God, you'll what? Came a voice from the chapel doors. Everyone turned. A woman stood in the entryway, dress torn, hair messy, flanked by a police officer. I'm sorry I'm late, she said. I was locked in the trunk of her car. The crowd gasped. Jalen stared. He knew that voice. Elise, she nodded. She's my twin. The bride in white, Ava, turned pale. Then still. Then furious. You should have stayed out of this, she hissed. Two officers moved to arrest her. She calmly removed her veil, placed it on a pew. You all think he loved you, Ava snarled. He loved the idea of you, your voice, your stories, but he never saw you, not until today. Jalen whispered, Why would you do this? Ava's voice softened, eerily calm. Because you were supposed to be mine. Flashback. 3 years earlier, Elise and Ava hadn't spoken in 6 years. They were once inseparable, identical in face, but never in spirit. Elise, the empath, the storyteller. Ava, the manipulator, the shadow. When Ava saw Jalen's photo, Heard about the man who loved Elise sight unseen. A plan formed. She memorized Elise's laugh, her stories, her scent, and the night before the wedding, Ava made her move back to the present. She took everything, Elise whispered. Even my name. But she couldn't take your voice, Jalin said. Ava, escorted out in handcuffs, turned one last time. One day, you'll realize you loved me. I was the one you trusted in the dark. Then the chapel doors closed behind her. The wedding was canceled. The guests left quietly. Jalin and Elise sat alone in the chapel. I dreamed of seeing you, he said softly. But not like this. Elise took his hand. You knew it wasn't me. I felt it, he admitted, but I was afraid to believe it. You still believed, she whispered. That night, back at her apartment, Elise found a package at her door. Inside, a locket point one side held her childhood photo. The other, Ava's a note fell from the box. You won. You always won. But I only wanted to be seen. Even just once. Not your enemy. Just the shadow of your light. Ava 6 months later. Jalin and Elise launched a nonprofit called The Second Look, a space for victims of identity theft, deception, and those navigating life with visual impairment. The foundation's plaque bore 3 names: Jalin Monroe, Elise Carter, Ava L. Martin, in memory of the wounded heart. 2 weeks after the chapel chaos, they stood in a sunlit garden behind an old bookstore Elise once loved. No crowd. No headlines. Just truth. Jalin took Elise's hands. The first time I loved you, I couldn't see. The second time, I saw a lie. But this time, I see you. And I'm never letting go. Tears in her eyes, Elise whispered, even when someone else stood in my place, you knew me. They kissed, quiet, real, raw, from a distant hill. A figure in a long coat watched silently. Ava. She placed a locket at the base of the fence, then vanished. Some stories end in revenge. Theirs began again in forgiveness.